We'll now move on to 8 key pieces of vocabulary and language for the topic of work. Again, it's very likely that this will come up in your IELTS speaking test. Let's move on to take a look at these key phrases. So we have contract, employer, job share, stressful, occupation, resign, commute, and vocation. Let's take a look at contract. So, contract is a legally binding document that you sign with your employer, and it usually gives you a list of duties that you must do, and it talks about things like holidays and hours and when you will work. Let's look at some examples. My current contract means I have to work 35 hours from Monday until Friday. I'm trying to change to a part-time contract to give me more time for studying. So a few examples of the word contract. And here we have employer. An employer is often considered your boss. It's the company or person that gives you a contract and pays you for work. My former employer was quite unkind, so I decided to quit the job. It's important for an employer and employee to have a good relationship. So the employer is the boss, the manager, the company, and an employee is the person who works for the company. Now we have job share. Job share is a type of contract where you share, sometimes equally or sometimes not. You share the work with another person. So it may be that I job share with Simon to do some work, and I work Monday and Tuesday, and Simon works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They don't happen too often. They are kind of rare, but I know in the UK there are people who have these types of contracts, job share. In the last few years, more married men have started to job share to spend more time at home. In education, it is common for some teachers to job share. It's similar to a part-time contract, but it's a full-time contract split between usually 2 people. And next we have stressful. Stressful is a negative feeling, often when you are too busy and there is too much pressure. So you feel this negative feeling, stress, and it's not very pleasant. Let's take a look at some examples. Many working parents find looking after their children and having a part-time job quite stressful. Although my new work can be stressful, I do find it enjoyable. And here we have occupation. When you talk about somebody's job, you can say, or you can ask them, what is your occupation? It's more formal, so it is often used in more formal situations such as forms and contracts. But yes, occupation means somebody's work. My father's occupation was in computing and information technology. Children should start to consider what occupation they would like in the future. And here we have resign. If you resign from your work, it means that you are quitting. It often means if you resign that you are still abiding, still being careful with your contract. So it may be that you resign, but you have to work for 6, 7, 8 weeks, then you can finish. It's notice that you give to your employer. I will cut my contract short. After many policemen reached 45, they decided to resign from their role. If a job becomes unmanageable, then you can always resign. And I've highlighted this word unmanageable. You can use unmanageable to describe tasks or jobs and work that are too difficult, they're too busy. The task is unmanageable. Okay, let's move on. And here we have commute. Commute quite simply means how you get from home to the place of your work. Many people commute from their local town into the city for work. The evening commute is a nightmare because of the traffic. So a few examples of commute, and it's a great thing to be able to describe your commute. Okay, lastly we have vocation. Vocation is a synonym for job, and it means a job that you are 150% matched perfectly with. You want to do that work. If you enjoy your job but not really, it's not your vocation. A vocation is a job that you love. Some people find their vocation early. Lucky them. To me, nursing is more than a job. It's my vocation and I love it very much. So if you're talking about a job that you love, you can call that your vocation. Okay, and here are your 8 key pieces of language for work. See you in the next vocabulary lesson.